supercharger installation, the toughest part, people always say, is the fuel injectors. You have to remove the stock injectors and install larger injectors, and here's what we're looking at on the driver's side, which is the tighter of the two sides. First, you've got to unclip all of these brackets that are back here. You've got to unclip the cam position sensor, and further back, what you're ultimately trying to get to here are the fuel rail bolts, which are under this plastic wire harness. Here's one of them, and going toward the back, there's the second one. So you've got to try to move all of this plumbing out of the way. Then you remove the fuel rail bolts. Again, there's the first one. And then you lift that fuel rail up. When you lift the fuel rail up, the three injectors, which are positioned and seated in the top of the fuel rail, will come out, and you'll probably get gasoline all over your hands. At least I did on the passenger side. So I'm going to set about doing that now and update you in a minute. Okay, I have removed the fuel injector, or sorry, the fuel rail bolts. Right there you can see that the bolt is out. What I'm going to do now is pull the fuel rail, which is this metal piece running longitudinally with the car, underneath this plastic bracket. I've removed the clips, I've removed the front, I've removed the bolt there, removed the bolt in the back, as you can see, and I'm now going to attempt to just lift it off, and in doing so, the injectors will come out of the engine with it. That's the next step. See if I can do it with you watching. It's helpful to have an extra set of hands to hold the camera if you're so lucky. Oh, okay, so the bolt comes up with the fuel rail, or the fuel rail comes up, and with it, the first injector. I'm not sure you'll be able to see in there. There's the top of the first injector. What you're looking at here, as you can see, there's a clip right here. Here's the fuel rail, and that's the hat at the top of the fuel rail. I will remove this clip, and then you'll see the top of that injector. To remove this clip, you want to get behind it, like so, and kind of pry that side up. Try the back side. When that clip comes out, you'll be able to remove the electrical wiring in the back of the injector, and then remove the injector entirely. So, not sure I'm going to be able to do it while holding the camera. Bit of a challenge doing it one-handed here. I'm going to put the camera down and do it. But meanwhile, there's the bottom of the injector. You can see it. There's the whole injector. You see the clip at the top. Right there. You see the electrical connection at the back. And down there underneath, you can see where the injector goes into the engine. Try to give you a better view. There's the end of the injector. Right here. And that's the base of that. There's a hole. That's where it would go into the engine. So I'm going to move from this first one and unseat the second and the third injectors, and then I'll work on taking the clips and the plastic brackets off. Okay, well, I got the first injector out on the driver's side, and I just want to show you what that looks like. Here's the fuel rail. Whoops. Here's the fuel rail, and that's the little hat that it sits into. What you see dripping out the bottom is actually gasoline. The injector, which looks like this, this is the top of the injector. Sits up into that metal hat, if you will, that cap. And the bottom of the injector goes into that little hole there. So what you see shimmering there and dripping is gasoline, and that's normal when you take these out. The back side, again looking at the injector, goes in on an angle like that. It's where an electronic clip clips into place, and I'll show you what that looks like. Right back here, you'll see it. Obviously it's very tight space to work in. Here it is. Right here. Try to pull it up for you. There it is. See that little clip that's getting dripped on, actually, which is probably not great, but that's the clip that clips into the back of the fuel injector. Anyway, looking down the line, down the fuel rail, are the next two injectors for me to enjoy removing. There's the next injector. So what you see is that clip on top, then the cap where on top of it where it attaches to the fuel rail, and then the clip on the bottom where it attaches electrically. If you keep going to the back, you'll see the hole for the bolt for the fuel rail, and lucky me, right behind there is the third injector. Nicely hidden away. That should be a fun one.